All right, we are live, we're live, we're live. All right, so we're gonna give it about 2 minutes, guys. We're gonna allow a couple more people to follow real quick. And then I'm also going to mute everybody. What up, Renault? You guys are coming in. Please just go ahead and mute yourselves. I can mute you along the way if I have to. But that way it just keeps the noise out and everybody can hear. Let me know where you're tuning in from. Type in the chat. I know a lot of you guys are from Michigan. I know you're obviously from Vegas. So let me know where you're tuning in from, and let's get it going. We're going to go live in about 1 minute, guys. 1 minute. No, I'm not drinking from an oil barrel. I'm drinking from my Kangen water. It's a jug, by the way. Yeah, Chicago, Washington, Caraco. Dang. Hawaii. Got a couple people from Hawaii that I know in here. Got Texas, of course. What up, Sean? What up, John? Texas.
What up, though, Greg?
All right, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Let me know if you guys can see my screen or not once I share it. All right. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
All right, cool. If you guys can meet up real quick, we're gonna go ahead and get things kicked off. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and actually start with a clean chart at first, and then we'll go over the overview, so that way everybody understands what we're looking at when we're looking at this chart. Right, so I keep it super simple. I just keep about 3 lines on my chart total. Okay, you'll see a couple different quarter points, but when it comes to how many lines, I keep a support, a resistance, and just a trend line, and that's it. So I'm going to show you guys that right now. So I start out on the day chart. This is Euro JPY, so it's Euro versus Japanese yen.
I went to get my food, and I was walking. I said, "Who the fuck is passed out?" And I walked past, and I said, "Oh shit, it's him." I told him, I said, "Dude, they looking for you."
Go ahead and mute everyone up real quick. All right, cool. So like I was saying, I start out on the day chart. I simply take just a horizontal line. I'm going to go ahead and put 1 line in. So real quick, all I simply do, I just put this line at a random spot. It's obviously at a support, right? It's a resistance over here. But what we're going to do, I'll make this black actually, see it better. Okay, so what I like to do is I like to label them. Okay, so I'll be QP major, and I'll show you guys exactly what I mean by QP major here in a second. Okay, so this pair right here, as you see, the price is at 129.90. Okay, so how I'm able to distinguish between a quarter point major and minor, by the way, those are support resistances, right? They're just heavy support resistance. So you're able to swing trade with these support resistances. Okay, so since price is at 129, we're looking for the 1,000 pip mark. Okay, so we're looking at these 3 first numbers right here. Okay, so we're almost at 130. So technically, the QP major is going to be around the 130 and the 120 mark. Okay, now how I do that is I simply just do this right here. I'm going to type in, I'll do 130 first. Okay, and then I'll show you guys exactly why I put it there too, by measuring the pips. Okay, so we're going to do another one at 120. Okay, And now I use this tool over here just to measure the pips. Click the ruler. Okay, we're going to go from one line all the way to the next. Make sure it's 1,000 pips and pretty close, right? If I were to click on it correctly, then it'd obviously be right at 1,000 pips evenly. Okay, how I knew that was the last number on this chart is always a pipette. The only time it's not a pipette is when it's gold or crypto. Okay, so the last number never counts. It takes 10 pipettes to make a pip. Okay, so right now, we're simply at the 1,000 pip mark, right? So we got 3,000 and we got 2,000, right? If you take out the decimal. Okay, so that's how you're able to distinguish the 1,000 pips. Give me a QP major and a QP major. If you guys got any questions, by the way, please post them in the chat. I can see it, and I will view it throughout the thing, so that way I can answer them at the end of the speaking. So now what we're going to do is we're going to find the 3 minor points in between these majors. Okay, so we're just going to draw 3 lines real quick. Just put them at a random spot. Okay, now we're going to do 250 pips from this major area. Okay, so if you do 3,000 minus 250, that would lead right to 2,750, right? So we're going to go ahead and 750.
I go upstairs, so.
Justin Murphy's on the call. What's good, bro? All right, so cool. Sorry guys, I was muting somebody up real quick. Next one. Okay, so the next one is going to be it's going to be 2,750 minus 250 would lead you at right at 2,500, right? So you just 1.2 or 125.00. Okay, and then the last one is just going to be 2,500 minus 250 would lead you right at 12250. And what you guys will see too is these are major areas where the market is bounced, right? You got major spots where the market just simply closes right below and drops off, right? Closes right below again, right? It broke out a little bit, closed right below, dropped off, okay? Again over here, broke out, didn't retest, but it retested this one, broke out again and continued all the way up, right? So potentially, with this move here, you would have caught your full 1,000 pips. Okay, this is a day chart, so you would have been in this trade for probably like 3 or 4 weeks. Okay, you don't have to hold it that long, but this is a way to show you how you can catch 250 pips, get out, wait for a retest, get in again, wait for a retest, get in again. Let me check the chat real quick. There's a one person on mute. John, next, this is actually something that I picked up a while ago from a buddy of mine that was on East Lansing. And he simply showed me quarter points, and I hadn't done it in like a long time. But recently I was going through old videos and I found one that I was in where he was simply recording the quarter point method, and I started using it again. And it's what's really helped me grow as a trader and really be able to be super, super consistent and pretty much wait for the market to come to me, right? I don't have to worry necessarily about, oh, do I need to get out? Do I need to get in? When to get in, right? I know exactly when to get in, and I know exactly when to get out of the market. And I'll show you guys that right now. Okay, so now that we have our quarter point and major and minors, the only time that I drop any more than just these 5 lines right here, the only time I drop any more is if it breaks this major. Okay, if it breaks this major, what are we going to do? Now it's going to be between 130 and 140, right? This is going to be our next major up here. We'll just put 1 line. Just double check. Boom, 1,000 pips. Okay, perfect. So now all I simply do, guys, is I'll go right to the 1 hour chart. If I don't see anything clean on the 1 hour when it comes to a trend line, I'll go to the 4 hour. Okay, but that's the only time I'll go to the 4 hour. Simply because I don't want to have to, I'll wait on my trade patiently, but I don't want to have to wait on it too long, right? Because you could have to wait on it so long, then you're sleeping, right? But I want to be able to get in my trade and be able to hold my trade while I'm sleeping, or have it confidently so I can hold it throughout the day. Who's on? All right, cool. All right, so all we're gonna do is take a trend line, right? We're gonna keep it super, super simple. It's actually just okay. You can have your trend line here, or you can have it all the way down here, whichever you prefer. It obviously retested below the trend line here, and it wasn't a trend line after that, but it broke all the way back up, came right back into the normal trend of the uptrend, right? I'm going to go the 4 hour real quick, just to double check to see if there's a better trend line, and I don't see one. This is going to look pretty much the same. Yeah, so we're just going to stick right on the hour. Okay, guys, so after my next step, we're going to draw this trend line again real quick. Okay, now all I'm going to simply do is I do a couple things. You don't have to do it this way, but I like to do it this way just so I can see exactly where the market is retesting at. Okay, so I like to see, okay, it retested here. Where else did it retest? This broke, so don't highlight that. It retested here, and it retested right here. Okay, now all I like to do now is I simply do exactly what Christopher Derrick does, right? Now that I have my support resistance, right? And sometimes it won't be near the major areas. If it's not near the major areas, which I'll show you that in a sec, I'll show you exactly what to do. Then you just simply keep the major areas there. If it comes to there, perfect. If it doesn't, you do your normal support resistance on the hour, right? And I'll show you a good example of that as well. So that way you guys don't have to wait 2 days for your trade to happen. But if it does come near the major or the minor, it's game time, right? Now it's time to really start eating. Or as Dr. Bacon likes to say, catch that barbecue chicken, right? So we're going to go ahead and highlight these areas. All I simply did for here was I did where the market stopped at, right? And then I did at the top of the wick, right? I didn't do up here because there wasn't much that touched up there. It all closed right in this area. So you want to make sure that you aren't going to get wicked out. You're going to be safe, better safe than sorry, right? So another one down here. We're going to go ahead and put one right here. Where did it wick out of? Wicked out right here, right? Closed, 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 wicked, right? Perfect. All the way over here, okay? Now that's all we need, right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to wait for our breaks and our retest. That's all we're going to wait for, right? So now I like to take this line. We'll actually extend this trend line a little bit. Now we can catch a retest. Right now, what we're going to do is boom. It's going to retest this area right here. And I'll show you where it could go to. If it doesn't break this, then I'll show you exactly where it's going to go. But it will hit one of our areas. And I'll check that chat right in a sec, guys. Give me 1 sec. We're going to green. Okay. You don't have to, but I always put my green ones for the potential entries. Okay, so I know exactly which circles are retest and which ones I'm waiting for an entry point. Okay, so now all you're going to simply do, what I like to do is in case it doesn't break this area, I want to see, okay, well, where can I get in for the sell if it breaks, right? Well, you got your area here that obviously was resistance, supports, supports, resistance, broke, retested, right? Retested actually perfectly right at our yellow circle. right? So now we're going to do, we're going to highlight where it was coming up at, okay? Highlight right there. Now, since this is an uptrend, I want to see a big break, right? But I don't want to just see a break. I want to see like a retest of this area. So all you're going to see is this right here. And in a little bit, guys, I will show you exactly where my take profits go and what I set for my stop. My stop loss, I always do 30 pips, right? If my entry is good enough, I can do 30 pips every time. And I'll only do one entry, and I'll talk about that exactly why I do that too. So that way you're risking less, but you're reaping the rewards instead. So I want to see a break of this trend line. Okay, so technically we can do it up here. Okay, I want to see a break of the trend line, but I also want to see a retest below here for newfound resistance, right? This would be the support, but if it breaks through, resistance, retest, drop. Okay, so let's check that chat real quick, make sure you guys don't have any questions. Yes, this is being recorded for sure. What up, Marla? Haven't talked to you in a while. Yeah, so this is definitely being recorded. I recorded it to the cloud though. So those of you that need the recording won't probably get it till at least tomorrow, if not Tuesday. But I did record it. So it will be on the cloud. And I did it to the cloud, so just in case my computer doesn't have any more memory, because I'm running out of space, then we'll be good. So the retest, okay, now we got our areas. Now all we're simply doing is we're waiting for entry points, right? We're letting the market come to us. Now this could happen at 1:30, okay? That's the time I like to trade is 1:30, usually hit the breakout. I won't be getting in anything tonight because it's Sunday and I got a bad habit of trading Sundays. And I just need to be, that's why I did this call tonight, so that way I don't trade, right? I'm just simply too busy for the call. I won't trade if I'm busy. So now you're just going to wait on your retest areas, or you're going to wait on your break and your retest down here, and that's going to be your entry points, okay? So now, all I'm going to simply do with this trade is I like to do this right here. So let's say this breaks, right? Let's say this breaks and resets. If anyone ever calls it a short or a long position, by the way, that's just an experienced trader. What they mean by short is they're looking for a potential sell, and for long, they're looking for a potential buy, right? So we're going to say this is going to short. Okay, we're going to drag it down to 30 pips. Boom. Drag it down to our entry point. Up a little bit. Right at that spot. Okay. I'll move this over. Now, if this breaks and retests and this is our entry point, where would our take profit be? Now, you can potentially make your take profit all the way down here. Okay, that is 250 pips. It's a little risky, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. Right? So what I like to do is I take one entry point. And the reason I take one entry point is on my dollar a pip, right? I have a $500 account, so I'm risking about 5 to 6% of my trade, 5 to 6% on a trade, but I'm only risking 3% if I only take one trade at a time. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm taking a dollar pip, and I'll enter in here. So let's say our entry right there. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is that in order to get to this 250, we're going to have to break through these other areas, right? There will be other support resistance areas. Okay. So, get a spot here. Okay. Now it's got to break through this area and do what? As soon as it breaks through, it's got to do exactly the same thing it did up here. Got to break. Retest as newfound resistance. Drop off. Okay, that's also how you catch this if you miss this drop. If you already missed this drop and it's halfway, just wait. Because I'm telling you right now, it's going to do two things. It's either going to come down here and break, or it's going to do this right here. Right? It's going to come down, come up a little bit, retest, and then it's going to blow right all the way through, all the way back up. Okay, so that's why you always want to wait. is because you could easily just catch this at 1 or 2 spots, right? But if your entry is good enough, you're only risking 30 pips, you potentially could catch 100 pips here or the full 250 all the way down here. Okay, if this does break, your next area, it's a little weaker area, so I would just hold this all the way down, but be safe to make sure you catch the full like 200 pips, not all the 250, okay, because everybody loves 200 pips. If it's not 250, it's not 250. 200 pips is definitely going to like double or triple your account sometimes. So right here, I'm going to highlight this one. Okay. Now, how many pips is that? We entered here. Okay. Just right here, if it bounces right off there, you caught 70 pips, right? If it bounces here, you caught 155, or you caught your 250 all the way down here, right? I'll always put my take profit. If I put a take profit, it will always be, we'll have this zone highlighted, and it will always be above it if it's a sell. It'll always be below it if it's a buy, right? Because that way, if it does bounce like this one right here, how I didn't quite touch it, we already secured the bag, doesn't matter, right? Or if it pulls all the way back, doesn't matter, we already got out, right? Closed right here, doesn't matter, we already got out, right? That way you're always secured. It doesn't matter about 50 pips if you catch 200, right? So better be safe than sorry. So now what we're going to do is we're going to simply type up exactly what we did. So I'm just going to do my account as an example. Okay, if we got a $500 account, and we'll do 10 cents or $1 a pip. One entry. Okay, so we're just going to put this right here, and now we're going to do exactly what we would have made. Okay, so let's say, let's see, we caught it all the way to right here, right? So we'll just say 150 pips. So 150 pips. One time. We'll say Dr. Bacon's kind of trades. We'll go 150. Okay, so not too bad, right? Even if you got a small account, guess what? You risked only $3 to potentially make 15. You only risk $30 to make 150. You only risk $300 on your account to make 1150, right? So there's your risk reward really nicely. But what I want to show you guys is this is exactly why I take one entry, right? So I showed this on my Telegram group and in the Discord. I'm going to show you guys why we take one entry, okay? One entry at 30 pips risk, okay? Oh, did I do that wrong? Is it 1500? Oh, my bad. Thank you, sir. All right, so one entry point, okay? So we got one entry, and we'll say the first one is at 150 pips. First entry, $150 pips. Second entry was from here Okay, we'll say we called our second entry right here. Got out at the same time, so it's another 70, another like 70, 80 pips, right? So second entry, we'll say 70 pips, okay? Because we held our first one for the entire take profit, okay? The reason we do that is this right here. Check this out. So if you were to take this, right? You're to take this entry point and only risk 30 pips. So let's say you risk 30 bucks, right? You risk $30, and now you're up all the way right here. You're up 75 bucks, right? Now what are you doing? Now you're waiting on your second entry point. When you get in, you are never negative, right? You may be negative on that trade, but you're never negative in your account. That's what's key. You're never negative in your account, which is how you're able to simply leverage the profit you're already up, right? So you're up $70. Now you're using that $70 to take your second entry and have a risk-free trade still, right? Put 30 pip stop loss on this one. And now guess what? No matter what, you're making 30 or 40 bucks, right? Because your other one's at break even or in 30 pips profit, right? So technically you're still only risking $30 or it's break even, okay? Your next one is held for 70 pips, and this one was a total of 150. Now what did you pay? You caught $150 on one trade, 70 bucks on another trade, and you never were negative in your. Okay, that's what's key, is the fact that you were able to literally make $220 risk free. You leverage the first trade to get your second trade. If you wait on the second entry, you won't be risking 60 bucks. You'll still only be risking 30 bucks the entire time, right? Or on a standard, you're only risking $300 the entire time. You're never risking any more than that, right? If you were to take two entries up here and this reversed, you lost 60 bucks, right? Everyone can take a $30 loss, but some people can't take a $60 loss. Or everyone can take a $3 loss instead of a $6 loss in a small account, right? Not everybody can take a $300 loss, or would rather take a $300 loss versus a $600 loss. Okay, so if you take one entry point and wait on your next one, that's how you're able to simply just keep compounding your account quickly, right? So again, over here, this is one that I showed you guys actually in Detroit, okay? We had consolidation. This was just stuck in while we were in Detroit. What did we do? Okay, we drew up our trend line. We had our support resistances. Okay, this is a good example of it not being near a quarter point, right? There's still going to be those support resistance. Now you just wait for this to get the quarter point, right? If it's not there yet, just do your normal support resistance. Keep it simple, right? You got your trend line, support resistance, and all we did was we simply were like, okay, it's got to retest this area, right? Who is that? I gotta beat that. Justin. All right, so we simply waited for this to break out of consolidation, and it did what? It came up, broke, but guess what? We didn't get in. We didn't chase it. We let it pull all the way back and retest, and then we got in, right? Now you have one entry point in, risk-free trade because it went into profit instantly, right? You're already up 20 pips on the first candle, and then if you held till the market closed, 30 pips. If you held till the market opened, then it gapped all the way up, which I don't ever do, but if you did, you're up 75 pips, right? And then what did it do? It literally came down and it retested your next spot, right? It retested right in the zone. Came up, retested again, you're in again for your second entry. Okay, now you're leveraging the profit you're in again for this one up here. Okay, you're never negative again. And now you're up 70 bucks for the first one, probably up about 10 bucks on the second one, and risk-free trade. You're up 80 bucks and just holding whatever you want, right? That way you're always putting your stop losses at break even. You're always only risking maybe 30 bucks if you're doing a dollar pip, right? Now I do a dollar pip and I'll trade only two pairs, one entry each. Okay, so I'm risking about 60 bucks, but if it goes into profit enough, I wait for my second entries and I just compound my account, right? That's how I was able to simply get the 1,100 pips, because I'm able to hold all the way through that 250, right? I'm able to touch that entire 250 pips. And if it breaks, right? This one retested, right? It retested perfectly. Okay, so even though it came up here, you may have got out, right? But you got back in probably like up here when it retested, or you're still in and you're up 220 pips, right? What is this doing? It's retesting to come up through this QP minor, like we said, right? 250 pips again. It's not guaranteed, but it happens, right? These areas are major spots because they're even numbers, right? The market loves to reverse or act or break through even numbers every single time. So if you just back test this, every single time it's at a support resistance, but it's a heavy area where it impacts it, right? Sometimes you get this right here where it just consolidate near it forever, right? But you got to wait for that break. As soon as it broke through, it did what? It pulled up and retested and it dropped off. It literally tanked. Okay, even if you didn't catch it up here, you caught it right here. It tanked. There's 290 pips. Okay, so like if we can keep trading simple and we can simply do these quarter points, and if it's near it, perfect. If it's not, just do your normal support resistance, right? Or do Jay's method of the crossover, right? But when it gets to the quarter point area, it's game time. That's when you're simply waiting for your break, your retest, but it's got to break a trend line or retest a trend line, and it's got to retest above or below your minor quarter points or your major, right? If it retests that area, I guarantee you catch a lot of hits, and you make it risk-free trading. Okay, so keep it super simple. Let's see if the chat will even pop up. Trying to see if you how are we picking our major QPs? All right, good question. So for your major and minor QPs, for when it comes to GJ and EJ, okay, and I can do this for other pairs too, but I'd like to just stick to the pairs that I know. I can do pip counts all day long on every single pair, but I'd like to stick to the pairs that I know and just mark up the pairs that I only trade, right? So for this one, for example, in order to find the major, right? In order to find the major quarter point, you have to look at where price is right now. Okay, price is at 129 area. Okay, so what is the 1,000 pip area, right? You're not looking at the first number, you're looking at these four numbers right here. The last numbers are pipette, don't want to look at that, right? So looking at these four numbers, taking out the decimal point, where's your 1,000 pips, right? Where's your even numbers? You got 130 and you got 120 area. Okay, so if you go back to the day chart, because that's the only time you can really see it. Okay, so you got your 130 and you got your 120. I know this looks chaotic because I went in the day chart again, but you got your 130, 120. Okay, now that you got that, now you want to double check and be like, okay, is this 1,000 pips? And we'll move this real quick. Boom, 1,000 pips. Okay, that's how you read that, by the way. If you don't know how to read that, it's literally just 1000.0, right? Is 1,000 pips. This is obviously going to be perfect because I can't click on the line like perfectly, but that's 1,000 pips, right? Now all you're doing is adding 250 pips to 2,000, right? What's 2,000 plus 250? 2,250. What's 2,250 plus 250? 2,500, right? Then all you got to do is put the decimal points in, right, to match the numbers. And you'll see that it divides this perfectly, right? If the spaces in between are even, you most likely know you're at 250 pips. If you have 3 minors in between your majors, you're at 250 pips. But you can double check it by simply using the ruler. 250, 500, 750, 1,000. Okay, you're perfect. Okay, hopefully that answers your question. I'm gonna go back to the hour real quick, show you guys something. All right, so let me check my notepad. There was some notes in there. All right, so hopefully you guys are familiar with lot sizes. If you're not, please go to IMO Academy because that's something extremely important. If you are going to start with a small account, I recommend no less than $100. If it's your first time live, I definitely recommend no less than $100 still, simply because of the fact that it'll get you used to if you do lose, how it feels, right? Which you're going to need to know because you will lose sometimes, right? And then it'll also get used to using risk management and getting used to using it for $100 account or above. For a $100 account, you want to make sure you're only doing 10 cents a pip, so 0.01, right? So you're only risking again on this trade $3 per 15 bucks. But every 15 bucks, you make a profit. So boom, boom, boom. You're stacking it all the way up. When you get to $200, now you can move it to 20 cents a pip. Now you're risking $6 to make 30 bucks, right? So you get that compound factor. You're getting that factor that you're looking for, right? You want to be able to compound your account because once it gets to 500 bucks, I'm telling you right now that if you're smart about it, you can do a lot of damage with $500. You can change your life, your family's life, and just a complete outlook of life with just the $500 in your account, right? But you have to use the right risk to reward, right? My risk to reward is no less than ever is it 1 to 2 or 2 to 1? 1 to 2, I think. But I'm never risking more than 30 pips potentially, and if I'm risking 30 pips, I better be catching no less than 60. That's also why I traded GBP pair and a Euro GPY pair. Because one, I'm a London trader. Two, those pairs move a lot, and I can catch a lot of pips in each candle. Right? If I trade like a Euro AUD, I could catch like a big move, and it can only be like 20 pips. Right? AUD USD, I could catch a big move. It's only 10 pips. But if I catch a big move on Euro JPY, like this candle right here, this candle by itself was 100 pips. Right? You're not always going to catch 100 pips, but if you catch a breakout like that, guaranteed you will. Right? So just keep it simple. If you're a London trader, trade a GBP, get to know a GBP pair and JPY pairs. Those are the pairs that move the most during London. Okay? I trade around like 130 because I like the breakout, and I like to try and get my profit in before that London actually opens, and so I can literally go to bed or do whatever I want throughout the day. Right? I only trade 2 hours a day, 3 days a week, and that's it. Right? I trade Monday going to Tuesday, Tuesday going to Wednesday, Wednesday going to Thursday. I'm done. Right? I trade 6 hours a week. So if you keep it simple, I guarantee you're going to have a lot more time for your family, and a lot more time for your friends, or whatever else you want to do, or some other hobbies. Right? So keep it super, super simple. Is there any questions for you guys that you guys want to go over? I know that's probably a lot of information, but like I said, I mean, this is recorded. Do quarter points work for all pairs? Can I get the link? Yes, you can get the link, and quarter points do work for all pairs. So somebody give me a pair real quick. Not a crypto and not gold. AU. Okay, so AU is a little more difficult. You got to go on the week chart in order to see it. But I'll show you guys exactly why I'm in that right now. So AU for a big move, right? You're only going to catch about 50 pips maybe on a big move, right? You could potentially catch 100 some, but it's going to be a longer period of time before you catch it, right? So AUD USD. All right, so we're going to make sure everything's deleted on chart. We're going to go to 1 week. Okay, I would go the day, but you can't see 1,000 pips on AUD USD on the day, right? You may even have to sometimes go to the month, but right here you can go the week. Okay, so how is it 1,000 pips, right? Where do you know where 1,000 pips is? Well, right now it's at 0.74, right? So somebody in the chat that thinks they know where the quarter point is, it's okay if you're wrong. Just yell it out or type it in the chat, preferably the chat, but. Let's see. Man, I forgot I got this on the TV and I haven't been using it. Where does it start? Every 1,000 pips from which side? Okay, so the way I find out, don't you do a USD Mexican, John? Get out of here with that. But let's see. Yeah, 50 pips. Yeah, that'd be $500 if you're doing like a standard, right? Um, so real quick though, in order to find the quarter points, how you're knowing where it's at. So right now it's at 745, right? Since it's at 745, the numbers between for 1,000 pips, you're looking at this decimal point, right? Right after the decimal point, that's 1,000 pips, right? So you're going to be at 0.8. I think somebody said that in the chat, right? And then what's right after, what's 8,000 minus 1,000, right? 7,000. So your other spot is right here. And as you can see, like AU has just been stuck in consolidation, like technically for the week chart, right? I'm waiting for this breakout though. If it breaks out up here, we could potentially see it going all the way back up to here. Okay, that's 1,500 pips right there. Without even doing the count, I can tell you that's like around like 1,500 pips. 1444. Right? So if you wait, you can, and you're patient, you can catch the big moves, right? You're not guaranteed the whole 1,500 pips, and this can take a while, right? AU would take like a month and a half to get there at least. But 1,000 pips, okay, so we're gonna make sure it's just at the right spots perfectly. Okay, it's 0.7. Label this one. Major. And label this one. 0.8. Okay, now we're gonna double check. 1,000 pips. Boom. Okay. So since we're at 1,000 pips, now we're gonna do what? Now we're just gonna draw up our 3 lines. Right? It's gonna look a little tight on the week, but when we go to the day chart, it'll look like 7,000 plus 250.
All right, well, let's go ahead and do a sound check and get underway here. You should be able to see my warning screen here with my disclaimer on it. You should be able to hear my voice at this point.
All right, he's muted. All right, cool. So 7,250, right? You're just adding 250 to 7,000. Super simple. I make them red. You make them whatever colors you want. I just like to distinguish and make it look clear. Okay, 7,250 plus 250, 7,500. And we'll do one more pair after this, guys, and then we'll end this call because I know this is getting late. Appreciate you guys hopping on though. Okay, so 7,500, that's good to go. 50. All right, so now that we got that situated, now what are we gonna do, right? We're gonna go to our day real quick and you'll see, okay, look how clean that looks now, right? Now you got your divided areas. This is coming to a quarter point. Okay, it's coming to the minor. So this is where you're going to see if you can get in this area, right? On the week chart, it looked consolidated, right? But if it breaks this area, as you can see over here, this is a big spot that has been going up from, right? Or consolidating on, right? We may see, if it breaks here and retest, we may see this big move again. Okay, that's about 300 pips right there almost. About 276 or something like that. Or sorry, 276, it's like 676. It's 622 though, good enough. Okay, so right here, okay, you can potentially draw a trend line right about there, right? If you wanted to, but I don't draw a trend line of the day because I want to see it actually break the hour so I can get an entry and not miss it, right? So right now, even though this is at a resistance right now, right? It's retesting. But as you see right here, this right here is only like 40 pips, right? I'm not going to get in because I want to see this retest above this, right? I don't want to risk 30 pips for 40 pips. It just doesn't make sense to me. So if I can wait for this to break up here and retest, we can potentially see another large move like we did day trade, right? We potentially see this big 600 pip move again. Okay, that's what we could potentially see if you wait, right? But do you want 40 pips or do you want 600? So just wait for it, be patient, and you can catch these bigger moves. Okay, so let's look at the chat real quick. Come on. Okay, there it goes. So you would say QPs are similar to MRA support resistance. 600 pip is a 3-month move. Training with training. Let's go. All right, so yeah, I know peso pays, bro, but I just don't mess with it right now. So quarter points to me are support resistance, right? You have your areas where it's bounced, several areas, right? So if you go to here, you back up, right? These are all quarter point spots, right? I don't know if this one is. I don't think this one is. Okay. You have your spots where it literally just cannot pass it, right? This is a quarter point, could not pass it. Support, right? Could not pass it. Support. Broke through it and retested newfound support. Okay, it was resistant. Broke through it, tried to retest, broke through it again, retested, went up. Right? Became newfound support. Right? Broke through, retested, newfound support, went up. Broke through, didn't retest, became resistance, but it didn't retest, right? And just plummeted. Okay, so this is support resistance. Like I said, it's just major areas in the market, right? It's the spots where the market loves to reverse. It loves to reverse or it loves to break through, and that's where you can catch a bigger move with the trend, right? I love trading with the trend. If we can catch this on a new uptrend and it breaks this minor, like I said, we could catch that 600, right? It's a 3-month move, but we could catch that 600. Are you willing to wait though? Are you willing to be patient? You got to remember that 600 pips, you're catching entries as you go, right? You only have one entry and then you're catching several entries as you go. So I only trade 2 pairs, right? So if I catch 600 pips, I potentially am taking about 3 trades a week, right? Because I'm waiting for every 150 pips, it's going to retest at some point, right? Retest, get in again, use that leverage from that profit, get in again, right? But get in at the same lot size so you're never negativing your count and you can just be risk-free trade, risk-free trade, risk-free trade, all the way to 600 pips. Now I caught about five or six entries, right? On my Euro buyer DJ, caught about 5 or 6 entries at probably no less than 60 pips each trade. That's $60, right? Now I stacked up about $400, and my first trade is almost up $600. My $500 account is now $1,500 in a matter of probably 2 weeks, right? With GJ and EJ, you could catch 500 in 2 weeks, less than that actually. But yeah, in about 2 weeks, your account's all the way up to 1,500, right? Are you willing to wait though? Are you willing to be patient? That's the real question. Because that's all it takes for this is that if you can be patient, game over. You're going to win with this, right? So real quick, we're just going to draw one trend line, and then I'm going to do one more pair, and we're going to end this call. So our chart, right? What are we looking at? Okay, so we want to put our zone right here. Okay, so we're going to highlight that real quick. I'm only going to highlight this one because this is what we're actually going to wait on, right? We're going to wait on that spot right there. And I don't even like that trend line at all. So what we're going to do is we're going to see if there's one right here. Okay, so to me, this already broke, right? This already broke the big trend. Okay, you can't get in, it's chasing the market. So now that it broke and it retested, as you see, it retested above perfectly and it just went up, right? So congrats if you got in. If you didn't, wait till it comes up here because all you're going to have to do now is if it breaks and retest, it's gone. Okay, and I'm not even gonna do the sell because I don't think this pair is gonna sell at all. Okay, it could, but I don't think it's going to. If it's going to, it's not gonna sell to this QP minor. But that doesn't mean get in. So we're gonna wait on that, right? Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna simply see where our take profit is, right? Where's our first take profit or our retest point that we can get in to hold this all the way to this QP minor, and that's gonna be right at this spot right here. Why? Because you gotta bounce, you gotta bounce, you gotta bounce, you gotta bounce, right? It was support over here, newfound resistance over here, broke through. Now it's deciding what it wants to do at this point when it comes up here, right? You potentially have one right here, but this is a little weaker one. I would just hold it right here. I'm gonna highlight it. Okay. And now we're just gonna put our long position. Make sure it's only 30 pips. Hold it all the way to the 250. About 240, that's fine. Okay, and then our other entry point is just gonna be right here. As soon as it gets in, it's gonna come up, break, retest. Second entry point, hold it right to your overall take profit. Super simple, right? And yes, this one's only probably like 50 pips, 40 pips, something like that. Right? It's only, or it's actually like almost 100 still, right? So you caught now a total of 250 pips on your first trade, and you caught 75 on this one. So guess what? Now you're up, let's see, 250 plus 70. Okay, you caught $320 on your trade, right? Never risked anything more than 30 bucks ever. Because you only got one entry, right? So just keep it super, super simple and it's gonna work out perfectly fine. All right, guys, send one more pair and then we're gonna end this call because I got stuff I gotta do. And I'm sure you guys do too. Call it a pair, call it a pair, call it a pair. Let's see. Anyone want to call one? Y'all sleeping already? GU, perfect. I like that pair. All right, cool. This is Jay's pair, so we're gonna go ahead and mark that one up real quick. Oh, this one's actually already marked up. So this one actually hit my take profit. I totally forgot about this trade. But there was a trend line here, and there was a trend line here, and it retested perfectly. And it hit 78 pips, right? That's a lot of pips on GU because GU moves like AU, right? It's a little slower. But we're gonna delete this real quick and just show you guys where the quarter points are. I'm not gonna even do a trend line real quick. I'm just gonna do the quarter points. All right, so this is out 329. So it's at 3,292. Okay. The even numbers 4,000, 3,000. It's freaking hot in this room. Holy crap. Okay. That 4,000. Now we're just gonna do our minors real quick, right? And then we're done. 3 lines. All right, where's this one gonna be? 3,000 plus 250, 3,250, right? Nothing difficult about that. All right, keep it simple. Like I said, if you guys got any questions, let me know. $3,500. And by the way, guys, we will be doing some London sessions this week. I know Jay's about to do one tonight. I don't think he's going to trade tonight, but he will be marking up the charts for London. So that's probably going to be right after this call, actually, now that it ran late. But I'm sure you guys don't care if you're going to win. So I know I don't. 3750. Okay, perfect. Right? So now you did that. All you have to do is go right to your hour. Right? Right to your hour chart. One trend line. Okay. This one never tested the trend line. I tested it here, right? But it was still below this quarter point. So I would have never got in because I want to see it break the quarter point before I get in for the buy, right? Even if it tests this trend line, we need more than one confirmation. So it broke, never retested, didn't get in. Now what do? You wait for your next area, right? But your next minor is all the way up here, right? So obviously you got to look for your support resistance on your hour. What did this do? It dropped right near your support resistance, right? Dropped right at the area. Now all you're gonna do is you're gonna highlight that area and see where it breaks in. I'm gonna highlight this one down here. Wait for the break, wait for the retest. Get in your trade. Wait for the break. Wait for the retest. Take your trade. Oh. One sec, guys. I gotta plug in there. I mean. All right, we're good. All right. So all you're gonna do is wait on your retest, guys. That's it. Keep it simple. Right? Don't chase the market. Wait for it. See how it dropped right here? That's why I wouldn't have got in. Right? Don't get in the buy yet. Don't get in the sell. Don't put a buy stop. None of that. Wait for it to break. Wait for it to retest. Get in the market. Hold it all the way up to here. So even if you get in here, right? You hold it all the way up on your first entry. You're already making 160 bucks. Right? Or on some people that do a standard, you're already making $1,600. Right? And you never risked any more than 30 bucks or 300 bucks. Ever. So if you keep it simple, you be patient, you guys can get these trades going. I will post this recording. I'm gonna end it right now actually for the recording. We'll stop recording.